Welcome to Cold Brew Finance's U.S. End of Week Deep Dive, covering market moves in indexes, sectors, stocks, and global markets. The week ending Friday, December 5th, 2025. Kicking things off, I'm Max Profit. Key indexes were all up this week. The S&P 500 index ended at 6,870.39, adding 21.31 points. The Dow 30 index rose by 238.57 points to finish at 47,955. The Nasdaq Composite Index experienced a strong finish, ending at 23,578.13 with a rise of 212.44 points. The Russell 2000 Index set a new all-time high, closing at 2,521.48, gaining 21.5 points. Market breadth was positive overall this week. The S&P 500 index saw more advancers than decliners, with 312 rising versus 182 falling in the last week. Meanwhile, the Russell 2000 index stood out with 1,142 advances, outstripping 748 declines. Analyzing the returns, the Nasdaq Composite Index posted the highest weekly return at 0.91%. The Russell 2000 Index also delivered strong performance with a weekly return of 0.84%. Year-to-date, these indicators maintain positive trends, led by the Nasdaq's year-to-date return of over 22%. Looking at the long term, the Nasdaq Composite Index showcased a strong 10-year annual return of 16.44%, topping the list. Meanwhile, the S&P 400 Mid-Cap Index showed modest growth with an annual return of 8.64% over the same period. Solid momentum continues as all indexes remain in positive territory.
Checking out best and worst performing equities, I'm Penny Stock. SMX, Security Matters, saw a massive weekly gain, with its price jumping to 331.98, marking an increase of 443.8%. This surge came despite a mix of upward trends. Capricor Therapeutics closed strong at 26.89, up 402.6%, hitting a new one-year high in a very strong uptrend. Weekly total returns highlight SMX, Security Matters, with a substantial 443.8% gain, but Capricor Therapeutics also impressed with a 402.6% increase, indicating strong momentum this month. Meanwhile, Gulf Resources logged a 173% rise, setting a new all-time low, but now transforming in a very positive trend. Looking at longer-term returns, Capricor Therapeutics stands out with a robust 3-year total return of 543.3%, despite a 10-year annual return decline. Gulf Resources shows potential despite lower longer-term returns, driven by recent upward price momentum. In big-cap stocks, Microchip Technology surged with a strong upward momentum, closing at $65.81 per share, up by 22.8%. Dollar General set a new one-year high, advancing to $132.37 with a 20.8% increase as positive trends take hold. On total returns, Microchip Technology leads with a 22.8% weekly gain, while Dollar General reports a significant 20.8% in 1 week. Old Dominion Freight Line continues its stride with positive trends backed by strong upward volatility. Over the long haul, Microchip Technology had an impressive 10-year annualized return of 177.8%. Similarly, Old Dominion Freight Line boasts a 638% total return over 10 years, showing strong growth potential despite some volatility. In the negative spectrum, Paranovus Entertainment Technology tumbled by 96.5%, closing at a mere 0.4, marking a record low. Similarly, Columbus Circle Capital dropped 57% to 4.36, setting a new all-time low as trends remain strongly negative. Weekly losses were severe for Paranovus Entertainment Technology, with a decline of 96.5%. Janux Therapeutics also reported a sharp fall of 51.5%. These stock movements drove record lows this week amid volatile trading environments. Paranovus Entertainment Technology saw a dramatic fall, with an ending price of $0.4, marking a 96.5% drop. It reached an all-time low, continuing a very strong negative trend with downward volatility. Columbus Circle Capital Corp also hit new lows at $4.36, down 57%. Among big caps, Alexandra Real Estate Equities recorded a new low, closing at $45.48, down 15.2% in a very strong negative trend. Paramount Skydance Corporation ended at $13.37, with a 16.5% decline, experiencing strong downward volatility. Paramount Skydance Corporation showed a 16.5% decline this week, with a close of $13.37, reflecting a mixed negative trend and downward volatility. Alexandria Real Estate Equities hit an all-time low close of $45.48, down 15.2%, driven by a very strong negative trend. In annual returns, Alexandria Real Estate Equities closed at a new low of $45.48, down 15.2%, maintaining a very strong negative trend. Paramount Skydance Corporation dropped to $13.37, losing 16.5% weekly amidst mixed negative trends and downward volatility.
And now on to U.S. sector performance. The energy sector closed at 696.25, up 9.63 with a 1.4% rise, marking a strong positive trend and closing up for 2 consecutive weeks. Technology and communication services sectors also showed strong upward trends, with the latter recording a new all-time high. In the weekly market breadth, the energy sector showed resilience with significant advances over declines. Conversely, the technology sector had more weekly advances than declines, whereas the communication services sector saw balanced changes. The consumer, cyclical, and financial services sectors also depicted a positive trend with more advances compared to declines. Regarding returns, the energy sector delivered a weekly total return of 1.4%. In contrast, the technology sector achieved a significant year-to-date total return of 25.37%. Meanwhile, the communication services sector stood out with a robust 34.91% year-to-date return amidst upward volatility. When looking at long-term returns, the communication services sector boasted a 10-year total return of 209.81%. Meanwhile, the energy sector reported a 10-year total return of 46.91%. The technology sector leads with a substantial 10-year total return of 670.24%, highlighting its dominant growth trajectory.
On a strong note, APA and Halliburton both closed with a solid 8.5% gain this week. APA set a new one-year high, marking 2 weeks of upward momentum. Halliburton continues its strong upward trend, while Texas Pacific Land hit a new one-year low despite a weekly gain. In returns, APA and Halliburton both saw a healthy 8.5% gain over the past week. While not as high, Schlumberger and ConocoPhillips had steady increases. Texas Pacific Land had a positive 7% change, indicating some recovery. Long-term performance shows Texas Pacific Land with a robust 337.94% 10-year return. Despite current upward trends, APA exhibits a longer-term decline. Meanwhile, ConocoPhillips posts a stable 10-year return of 62.27%, a rare positive among its peers.
This week's underperformers include the utilities with a close at 437.43, down 20.73, showing 4.5% decline amid some downward volatility. The healthcare sector ended at 1,783.39, down 50.12, but maintains a very strong positive trend despite the downturn. A look at market breadth reveals that while the healthcare sector experienced more advances with daily gains over declines, overall weekly performance portrayed a declining trend. In contrast, the utilities sector saw declines significantly outpace advances, reinforcing its struggling weekly performance. With a total weekly return of negative 4.5%, the utilities sector recorded a sharp decline. In the year-to-date metrics, this sector has returned 13.63%. Meanwhile, the healthcare sector also showed negative weekly returns, but marked a strong year-to-date return of 11.13%. Exploring long-term returns, the utilities sector showcases a 10-year annual rate of return at 7.39%, demonstrating resilience despite recent volatility. Similarly, the healthcare sector exhibits a robust 10-year RER of 7.97%, highlighting its strong long-term performance despite current setbacks.
U.S. utilities have shown a downturn this week. PPL ended at 33.86, down by 3.4, marking a steep 8.2% decline and a very strong negative trend. Vistra, facing a strong negative trend, closed at 167.17, dropping by 11.69. Ameren registered a new all-time high close, ending at 99.86 after a drop of 6.49. Utilities' total and daily returns illustrate substantial declines. PPL logged a one-week total return of minus 8.24%, mirroring its monthly figures. Dominion Energy also faced a one-week slide of 6.82%, yet indicates new one-year higher closing from its recent performance. Vistra similarly closed down, grappling with a strong negative trend. Examining annual returns, Exelon showed a robust 10-year AIR of 8.68%, despite the current week's negative close. Ameren reached a peak recently and achieved a stable 10-year AIR of 8.7%. Vistra displayed remarkable gains, with a substantial 3-year ARR of 92.37%.
Thanks for watching. I'm Max Profit, along with my AI co-host Penny Stock. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. Cold Brew Finance is an experimental project with market reports written, narrated, and delivered totally by AI, with market data kindly provided by financialmodelingprep.com. Always seek professional financial advice before making any investment decisions. Check into the channel daily for coverage of stocks, crypto, currency, and commodities. Thanks for watching.